What are you guys doing down here? Oh, hey, so I was just finishing up one of these other mushrooms here, getting ready to do a video on how to paint stuff, and we got one that I prepared previously. And in this one, I'm going to show you guys how you can actually apply the paint that I really like, because I really like the way that came out, since it's completely dry to the touch. So yeah, I'm gonna so in this one I'll show you guys how we mix the paint and the different things that we use, or that I use, to paint my little carvings, because I use some weird stuff. So with that, let's hop into it. Ooh, it's the floating head of the YouTubes. Alright folks, I'm done being silly. I'm really tired. So this week I decided, through a comment and request, to paint some of my mushrooms. Really like the way these came out. I really like the Super Mario themed one with the white dots on it. These have not been hit with walnut oil yet. They're still too wet. I'm just trying to get them knocked out. It doesn't really change the color at all. It's just a protectant to put on over it, because everything is water-based. If you've seen my how to mix, let's grab one that's a little less suspicious colored. The how to mix milk paint video, which I actually recorded before I did this, because why not? I'm mixing it. You'll know how everything goes together and why I prefer milk paint and all that. Short answer, it's opaque. It mixes easy. It dries fast. I like the way it looks. But yeah, so with that, I think I'm going to toss you to my younger self and let you guys see how we do the mushrooms up. Be on the lookout for some more carving stuff coming up too, because I see you guys have been really liking that. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of it. Plus, even though I've been doing it for about a year, I've kind of become obsessed. So with that, let's go paint them. And before we actually get to the paint, I just realized I should probably go over it a little bit. So I use milk paint, just like it sounds, milk. It's a powdered paint that comes in a bag that I grab, mix with water, and then apply. It dries it dries super quick because it is water based. It absorbs into the soft wood that I use for carving a lot, because it's open pore. It takes water in like a sponge or oil or whatever finish you put on it. So it really gets in there deep. It's dry to the touch in like 5 minutes. It's great. I love it. So it lets me get a bunch of stuff done quickly. And yeah, so it gives you more of an opaque look, unlike things like acrylic, where if you put it on thick, it's definitely you cannot see through it. The milk paint, if you apply it thin the way I do, the paint goes a lot farther, and two, what's the word I'm looking for? I just lost the word. But yeah, so it'll let you actually see the grain of the wood. It'll let you see the facets and what I did. It's not overbearing. It looks kind of old. And, it gives it that older rustic look without actually having to wait or age it. So it's definitely something to consider if you want to paint anything and have it look kind of old. If you're doing something like stone or something where it's going to be not porous, you want more powder to water than what I use. One of the guys that I follow on YouTube here that introduced me to milk paint, he actually mixes it to where it almost has a mustard-like consistency, where it's really thick, but he only wants to do one coat and he wants it to be solid, because he puts it on wooden bowls and stuff like that just to give it a different flair. I personally don't care for the way that looks, so I don't. But it is, I really do like the way it comes out. So that's all I can really think to give you guys a heads up on it before we go in, just to give you a little bit more of a background as to why I chose it. That, and it's honestly just fun to mix up and play with. So, but yeah, so with that, I will say, let's get to the main video. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, so did you guys know that you can support me for not spending a cent by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing my videos? It doesn't cost you a cent. It helps the algorithm see me a whole lot more, and it's totally free for you. It just takes 3 clicks. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks. Bye. All right. I think my water's done being stupid. I might be in the middle of a storm right now, so it's pulling all the water out of off the roof and everything and pumping it out. So, all right. So I just got to finish mixing up one of these. We got our 2 mushrooms that are ready to go. Mix that up. I do have a separate video on how to mix this milk paint up, so it should be up before you guys see this one. So yeah, and this one was specially requested, so I'm doing it. I was planning on doing it in a couple weeks, but yeah, so here's what happens when you make comments about, hey, we want to see how you do this. I will make sure it happens as quick as I can. So for one style, I like, this is definitely going to be more of a Mario or Super Mario Brothers type with the red top. So you just take that, mix it around. So these brushes are nothing fancy. I buy them in bulk on Amazon. Around Christmas time, I'll actually have snowman kits that you can paint your own snowman, and all the hardware to make them into Christmas ornaments, so you can just set them around your house. I don't like this angle. Let me lift you guys up a hair more. That should be better. So, and this is part of why I love milk paints as much as I do. Oh, sorry, my phone just started freaking out for a second. But yeah, like the top is actually almost completely dry. I see a couple thin spots though, so we're just gonna touch that up. If you do multiple coats, it's less opaque, but if you miss a spot, sometimes you have to go back and just, but yeah, so I'm gonna set that one off to the side to dry for a bit. And this one, I decided I'm going to use a mustard yellow on the top. So yeah, you just paint her on. Alright. There's that. Take that down. That's got a nice yellow cap to it. By the way, I'm just making up how these things look because that's what I do. I might do some more that look more realistic, but for that, I don't know how long that'll take me to be able to actually figure out. And I can carve a bunch of these out in not very long. So what I might end up doing is carve a bunch out and then play around with my airbrush that I very rarely break out. You know, I just realized I think I have driftwood over here. I do. Let's see if I can rejuvenate this. All right. All right. So let's grab another paintbrush. If you're rejuvenating it, you do need to actually really work from the bottom. I apologize for the water and the sump pumps, but this is the cleanest workshop I have in the house right now, so that might have done it. So we're going to go to our first one here. So this does, it looks like old washed up wood. Sometimes, if you can get it just right. So I'll put it on and then I'll come back behind it and take a little bit off just to kind of get that effect. That way, you know, if you set it down, it looks like it's on an old log or something. Just because I like the ability to actually, I like the aesthetic appeal of it being on a piece of wood. If you're doing these yourself, or if you were to order some and say you wanted them naked, because I do make my dudelets and I will have naked ones available where they're just not painted, so you can do all this yourself if you want to. So I do not provide the paints. That might be something I get into in the future, but as of right now, I am not interested in it because that's just going to add way too much complication for me. So, alright. Alright, it's not absorbing in anymore, so it should be good. We'll set that one down. We're going to hit this other one here real quick. And I did that first one backwards, so if you're going to do that, hit the end grain on the bottom first. If you want it painted and if you don't care, because you're not going to see it when it's setting down. That way it gives it more time to dry before you set it down. There's a couple issues on this one that if I was packing up, I would actually get rid of them, and that's the pencil line through there. But these ones are probably going to be staying with me because I know a few people that like mushrooms, and minor flaws like that they appreciate, especially when they know it's handmade. So yeah. Alright. Alright. So that's that. And the other nice thing is when you're done, when you're mixing it up and you got your glass of hot water that by now is probably cooled off a lot, which it has, you can just drop your brush straight in. And because it's water-based, all you need is a little bit of water to clean it off. Which is yet another reason why I like water-based paint. Or, I'm sorry, milk paint. And it is also a brand, milk paint. Alright, so for this one, we're going back to the red top. I'm going to do 2 different coats on this I'm going to start with this. I don't know how this is going to turn out because this is literally the first time I'm painting these two. So I'm playing around with with them. Started to say these and then it turned into them, so it was them. I'm not tired at all. Alright, I'll grab a little more paint. Alright, we got that. And then we've got a little patch left. Alright, that's nice and yellow. And then we're going to take some white. And we're just going to put some random dots on there. I can't find any of my pointed brushes, which is what I'd rather use for this, but like I said, this one's going to be kind of a Super Mario themed, even though it should be shorter to actually follow the Super Mario motif. Throw one right there. So when you're doing it, just go with whatever looks right. If you don't like this, do something different. And then we're just going to do a real light white coat on here. So I'm just going to, I put a heavy bit on there at first. And now we're just going to smear it all around, get it mixed in as good as possible. Because I want the stem with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of color. That's not just the wood, but I also didn't want it to be that overbearingly, powerfully strong, or I wanted it more opaque. So they're not opaque. I wanted it lighter. Wow, I am exhausted. But yeah, so there's one mushroom down. Camera might not do it very much justice, but you can totally see the yellow under that white in there. That should be safe to put back in there. So there's one. And this one, I have no idea how I want to do this, so I'm just going to see how the plain white works, and I might throw some red dots on it just to be different. So I want a nice thick coat of white going down it. The whole thing. Flip that around. Alright. Then, like I said, I'm just going to throw some red dots on here. And I am trying to keep this to like 15 minutes or so, so I'm kind of feeling a bit of time pressure now. Alright. And there we go. That's another style. I don't want to deal with music, so I'm making my own. So I definitely want to do some research into more realistic looking ones too, but I really do like the Super Mario themed one too. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, with something like that, I mean, you can... have fun with it. Mix and match colors. It don't have to be realistic, because I mean, I don't know what I don't know what you'd use them for other than decoration. And, you know, why not have fun with it? Because, yeah. But, yep. So, hopefully these jars work to keep this stuff a little wetter. I think they might seal a little bit better than what I've been using. They might not. I don't know. We're going to find out. I had them laying around, and it's like, let's try them. So yeah, with that, I will say, hope you enjoyed the mushrooms. And yeah, until next time, Cat in the Hat, and that be that. See y'all later, folks.